Gamers of Reddit, what is the funniest moment you have had on a video game? Playing Escape from Tarkov, Survival, Looter, Military Shooter FPS etc. Me and a friend were goofing around in a 3-story dorm house in the game talking, and pretty much just doing stupid shenanigans. That place in the game is a highly contested area, but we were there for 5 minutes and no one showed up. So my friend started going, of course nobody is here. They feel my presence and they get scared and just leave. He kept praising himself and talking shit the whole time until he entered a room and went like this: "Look, I'm so fucking good that I'm gonna stand in this window and shoot someone outside. Look at this one tap, shit you not." My perspective was just sitting at the door, looking at him peek his head on the window and instantly watch him get fucking blasted in the face from across the street. Never in my fucking life I laughed so much. I died shortly after cause that team pushed me right after, and I was laughing so much I couldn't aim. Also fuck you Johnny, you deserved getting blasted in the face. I was playing Skyrim with a modded bunny follower. This guy was programmed to gather more resources, run fast, and, importantly, run from combat. I went into Markarth, mining city built into a mountain, mostly made of stone. For those not familiar with the game, I went into the main room of the palace, where a farmer, elf supremacist group, nasty fellows, was pacing back and forth with his guard. He said something snarky to me, so I decided to hide behind a pillar and shoot him. One hit, but the guards noticed. However, my sneak skill was good enough they couldn't find me. They did, however, find my bunny, who promptly ran into and got the attention of more guards. Big parade of a bunch of guards chasing a tiny bunny all over while I'm just following, while sneaking and laughing my ass off. I was playing Red Dead Redemption and getting drunk at one of the saloons. I couldn't drink anymore and started stumbling around. I exited the saloon to see a guy tackle one of the hookers and start to stab her. I walked up. In Battlefield 1, some friends and I were in a conquest match together. One of my friends was in the sidecar while I drove the motorcycle. We headed toward one of the objectives and at last minute a squad of enemy soldiers and a tank appear around the corner. Out of instinct, I bail out of the motorcycle, leaving my friend unknowingly ghost riding in the sidecar straight toward the tank. The tank and soldiers then execute him in firing squad fashion. One of the hardest laughs I've ever had. Thank you BF1. Me and a couple of friends had a Minecraft server back in the day that I was in charge of. One day, on April 1st, I made a backup of the world file and then made a new world, spawned a whole bunch of those flying jellyfish things that shoot fireballs at you. Can't remember their name. I even made dispensers that kept spawning them all around the area where you spawn yourself. I did all this early in the morning before anyone else started playing. Reading the log afterwards was absolutely hilarious. I played on a World of Warcraft private server. Long story short, there was a glitched quest item where normally it's supposed to summon some low level enemies called murlocs for you to defeat, which have hilarious attacking noises. What nobody knew was that you could use the object absolutely anywhere anytime if you never completed the quest. In the middle of a dramatic cutscene where some dies, murlocs out of the blue smacking people. In the middle of a PvP fight, let's add some murlocs to the mix. In the middle of town checking the auction house, hope the murlocs don't kill the auctioneers. Eventually I got banned for a bit along with anyone else who used it, and it got fixed, but it was fun while it lasted. Halo 2, way back when, playing split screen with my best mate. There's a sequence near the end where you're running and gunning through a never-ending horde of the flood, and you've got to cross this gigantic cavernous room. We've done this sequence a few times on several occasions. By this point, we replayed it a lot. That level was great fun. We step into the room, running for where we know the door to be. Cue me. Huh. I don't remember there being a light there. 1 second later, that light turned out to be a rocket the flood had fired at me. I caught it with my face. We had to take a break for a good 15 or 20 minutes. We were both laughing so hard. This happened about 4 years ago, and I'm still disappointed we didn't catch it on video. Me and 2 friends were playing GTA Online, but all sitting in the same room. LAN party style, and going for one of the heist missions, the one with the prison break. These missions consist of a number of smaller missions you have to do consecutively, steal a vehicle, prepare your heist, etc. So a whole heist can take hours to complete. I guess it's like a raid in an MMO, but I have never played one of those. Now, those heists are designed as 4-player missions. You can't go with fewer players. Since we were only 3, the matchmaking placed a random dude in our party, and off we went. The first missions were pretty easy, but then there was the actual prison break. It involves 2 players going in to free the target NPC in a huge shootout, while one player offers air support and another flies in with the escape helicopter. This stage took us ages, because you only have one life/respawn for the whole team, so whenever a second death occurs, it's mission failed. There is a sound effect, the screen goes grey, it says failed in huge letters on the screen. The ground team that I was in was killed a lot, as was our random friend on air support, so we started the mission over and over and over again. We didn't expect this, but this random player stuck with us through the whole ordeal, without any annoyance showing in the chat. He was just as invested in getting this thing done as we were. Finally, after multiple hours of trying to beat the same mission, we succeeded. A bit lucky and with no respawn left. We got to the escape point. Our buddy picked us up. There was a cutscene. It ends with the characters jumping out of a plane, parachuting to a beach, and there is a helicopter to get you back to your apartment. It's really just the interactive end to the mission, without enemies or anything that could endanger the success of the mission. Your target is already on his way to safety, after all. So, imagine us landing on the beach, being very relieved that we finally did it. We board the helicopter. There is even a congratulatory message in the chat from our random friend. We just earned a ton of GTA money. Back then, this actually got you somewhere, at least a little bit. Everything is perfect. The world is a great place. Until one of my buddies goes oh. We are a bit confused, and while we are asking what happened, the screen goes grey again. Failed. We are absolutely dumbstruck, not least because we didn't even realize this was still actually part of the mission. We turn to our buddy, who has buried his face in his hands while laughing hysterically. What happened? After everything we had been through, after every restart, and every enemy we gunned down, our mission failed when our buddy decided to board the helicopter, not through the door closest to him, but on the passenger side. And while making his way around the vehicle, he walked face first into the tail rotor, got launched in the air, landed on some rocks, and died. When we realized what had gone down, the 3 of us laughed our asses off, because it was the perfect stupid ending to an afternoon of stupid failures. Meanwhile, our unknown friend, who had spent hours trying to help us through this heist, finally left without goodbye, and who can blame him, really? Coincidentally, we never tried that mission again, and never got around to the other heists. We still play together, though, and I have told this story to all our gaming friends over the years. It is truly the greatest thing that ever happened to me in a video game. In Batman Arkham Knight was fighting Deathstroke's tank mission in the Batmobile, targeted one of his minion tanks, while on an on-ramp, saw a second tank come upon me from the corner of my eye, drive to a lower elevation, game glitched and went straight into the Deathstroke's capture while floating on the Gotham Lake. Threw him into the back of the car, then Batman jumped into car to drive him to GCPD, then car fell straight into the lake lol. I doubt it's the funniest, but it happened very recently, and it's funny to me. I was playing Rust with my friend, and there was a tree in front of our house. So my friend goes to cut down the tree, and I keep the door open and watch from inside the house. The Rust animations are too funny to not watch. As the tree falls down, he runs inside and says that he heard footsteps. I call his bluff and tell him to go outside and get the wood. His first step outside, I see an arrow go through his head, and I run across the room to close the door, but I pressed the button too late, so the killer jumped inside my house as I closed the door. I have no weapons, but a rock on me, mind you, so I'm having a WWE steel cage match against someone with a bow. I didn't last very long. Back in the day, my friend and I were messing around in Oblivion. He heard about a unicorn that could be found and used as a steed. We approached it, but the crazy thing would attack us every time. Finally my friend got fed up and just jumped right on its back. This worked and we got to ride around on it. He took it into a nearby town. We pretended we were showing off a sweet new ride to all the peasants. Then he dismounted. The townspeople instantly dropped what they were doing and attacked the majestic unicorn. We watched as they surrounded our new friend and beat him to death. Then we spent the rest of the day murdering the town. *FOR anyone wondering, the game has the unicorn flagged as a monster. Whenever I get startled in a video game or even in real life, I suddenly take on a stereotypical yet convincing Asian accent of some sort. I'm a large white guy. I have no idea why I do this. I have no idea how I make that voice. I've tried to replicate it and I just can't do it on purpose. I've tried to train it out of me and I just can't. It's just my genuine reaction. Once when I was crossing the street to meet my friends on the other side, I was almost hit by a car. Cue stereotypical startled Asian voice. I kinda yell, "Hey, what are you doing? You almost hit me." Dude rolls down his window to apologize, and he's Asian and English is obviously a second language. But my adrenaline is still up a little, so I'm still stuck in Asian accent. Mind you, when I'm in this voice I'm rather unaware of it. I accept this man's apology and tell him to be more cautious around crosswalks. And for obvious reasons not quite obvious to me at the time, dude gets really angry with me, assuming I'm making fun of his accent. In reality I'm choosing to sound the way I sound as much as he's choosing to sound the way he sounds. But he could never know that and has probably dealt with worse throughout his life. So he yells at me to stop making fun of him, and I tell him in my startled accent that I'm not making fun of him. He rightfully gets more angry and yells that he should have hit me. I'm kinda flabbergasted because don't realize I'm still in startled voice and say, "You hit me? Hoi." The guy drives off and I meet up with my friends. They're all laughing hysterically because they know from playing video games with me that this happens to my voice when I get startled, and I'm almost always unaware of it. We all felt bad for the guy, but from their perspective it was hilarious. Fast forward a few days, I'm playing Minecraft with everyone. Creeper hits me hard and scares the shit out of me. I'm on like 1 heart, and I immediately pull out a health potion. While I'm sipping on that, still kinda freaking out cause I'm super vulnerable, a skeleton freaking shoots me dead and startles me even more. Startled accent kicks in and I yell in the exact same manner as before, "You hit me? Why?" Everyone are laughing, meanwhile I'm racing to get my shit back, asking why everyone is laughing. This all the time I modded my little brother's Skyrim save to basically be furry porn and watched him discover the horror for himself. There was a Buffy the Vampire Slayer game for the original Xbox. My wife, girlfriend then, loved Buffy and the game. One day she was away at class, and I was hanging out and playing with her roommates, playing the game, Usukus, and we discovered if you plugged controllers into ports 2 to 4, you could control the bad guys. So we set it up. She came home. We didn't tell her our findings. She was playing, and we were doing crazy things controlling the vampires and other bad guys that no way I would do. She was too into the game to notice us playing too, especially when the enemies in her only player game were doing stupid shit like fighting each other and committing suicide by jumping off cliffs and other things. Oh my god, it was hilarious to watch her lose her shit. Thanks for watching. In comments, write about similar facts and situations from your life. If you enjoy this video, watch other on my channel, and have a nice day.